Hi guys, it's Frankie Widdows here. What I've decided to do today is to share with you guys one of my presentations that I've done at a few conventions now, which just explains the difference between mega volume and Russian volume, because actually if you're newer to the industry, it's not going to be something that you know because you haven't been in the industry long enough to learn. And if you are in the industry and you're still confused, then I do hope that this presentation is going to help you understand the differences in it and what type of looks that you can achieve. So without further ado, let's move on with this tutorial, I suppose it is. So what is the difference between Russian volume and mega volume? So we tend to class Russian volume as 2 to 8D. So when we say D, it means how many extensions are in a little fan that we apply to the natural lash. And with Russian volume, we tend to stick within the thicknesses of a 0.07 to 0.05. We can create a wide or a narrow fan depending on what the client wants or what their natural lashes need. It's more of a fluffier looking set in my opinion, and it can lack density because there is a maximum amount of volume we can use safely with that technique onto a natural lash. Now when it comes to mega volume, we tend to class that as 9 to 16D being the maximum, so that's 16 extensions per one natural lash in a little fan. We tend to use much thinner extensions, so we go right down to the thinnest one that we can get in the industry, which is 0.03, and we go up to 0.05. We have to create more of a narrow fan to get that darkness, so that's going to give you a denser, darker, fuller looking set, and we get a nice sharp top line. So if you look along the top of the lashes, it looks more like they've been cut with scissors, whereas your Russian volume, you get more sort of stagger in your lash line because they're not as densely populated as mega volume. So if we're going to do any type of volume, especially mega volume, we've got to know how much volume our clients can safely support. And guys, this is why we take courses, because we have to go on those courses to learn how much we can support. So when we've got technicians that are doing volume and they're not trained in volume properly, they're lacking the understanding of how much our clients support, and that's unfortunately where we get a lot of the damage seen. It's because technicians just don't understand. They're not doing it deliberately. They just don't understand that you have to assess the amount of volume you can use on your clients. Because I always say to my clients, it doesn't take any skill whatsoever for me to give you a thick, full look. I can just put on ridiculously heavy lashes and keep stacking them on top of each other. But the skill comes in me assessing your natural lashes, applying what is safe, and you being able to wear that set week after week with infills without any damage caused. So this is why this is so very important, and why we do continue with our education to understand what we're safely doing. Now this here, what we've got is update as at the moment 2018 coming to the end, but you may well start to see this change over the years, or other technicians have a different idea of it. So we can only give the information which is valid for this current period, because in 6 months time this might be out of date. So use it as a guide, guys, but keep making sure you do your research and you keep keeping up to date with the industry, because it always changes all of the time. So first of all, this first image, I always say that this client, if she came in to me and she wanted to wear classic extensions, so the thicker ones, and we only put one on one natural lash, she could actually hold a 0.2 because she's super strong. Look how thick those lashes are. So because she's that exceptional client, top end of the healthy lash scale, if we were to use 0.07s on her, she could hold a maximum of 8 on her healthy, strong natural lashes. On little babies, we would never put that amount of volume. But on the stronger ones, yes, we could. So that would be the the catagen and the telogen lashes in the lash stages. If we were to use 0.06 thickness on her, she could wear a maximum of 12, 0.05 a maximum of 16, 0.04 a maximum of 25. Guys, be honest, it's going to be impossible to get 25 seamlessly onto a natural lash and all lovely and fanned. And if we were to use 0.03s, it would be a maximum of 50 50, so 50. Again, you'd never realistically get that many on a natural lash. Let's drop down to this second image here. So this is, quite healthy. They're a little bit sparse, but that's not damage. It's just her natural lashes. But the ones that she's got there are pretty strong. And if we were to classic lash her, she could hold a maximum of a 0.15. So that means if we were to use 0.07s, she could hold 4. 0.06s, she could hold 7. 0.05s, she could hold 9. 0.04s, she could hold 14. And 0.03s, she could hold 28 of those. So moving on to the next page, let's look at this image at the top here. So quite a weak natural lash, and if I was to classic lash this client, the 0.12 would be the maximum that I would use on her stronger natural lashes. So that means if we use 0.07s on her, she could hold 3, 0.06s 4, 0.05s it would be 6, 0.04s it would be 9, and 0.03s it would be 18. And this one at the bottom here is what a lot of my clients are like, which is why they come to me, because they have really difficult natural lashes. So I'm always very, very limited what I can put on them, because if I was to classic lash them, she could only hold a 0.1, which isn't even a classic lash. It's technically a volume lash and designed to be used in multiples. So if we were to put 0.07s on her, it would be 2 only, 0.06s 3, 0.05s 4, 0.04s we would be putting 6 maximum on, and 0.03s we would be putting 13 on. So I hope that gives you just a general guide. Like I said, it's likely to change in the next 6 months to a year, or even have changed now that I'm not aware of, but that's what we use as our current guides to make sure that we are not overloading our clients' lashes. It is always best to err on the side of caution if you're not quite sure than overload, because when they come back to you for an infill, they won't have a strong enough lash for you to stick something on. So it's best to go under rather than cause damage. Now this image, this is quite serious damage, sadly. This has been wearing cluster lashes, and you can just see where we've got bald patches in the lash line, snappage of the natural lashes. Now, although I actually could volume lash this client, I wouldn't, and my main reason is there's a lot of trauma on that eyelid. You can actually see how red it is. So it's likely this client actually would have a reaction because of the exposure to the lashes and the adhesive, which was a lot on there, because you can see the black bits that are still there. I would worry that this client would not only react, but it's going to be really uncomfortable. So for this type of client, a really good lash serum here in the UK, Revita Lash is really good. It's really pricey, but it is really, really good. I think Grande Lash is a good one as well. But yeah, you really do need to get them on a lash serum to help with those lashes growing. Don't use strip lashes. So if they want to go away and start using strip lashes, don't, because when you take them off, the adhesive will actually start ripping out any very fine lashes that you've got growing back. Refrain from eyelash extensions. So even if they try to go elsewhere, you kind of want to be like, stick with me. I know what I'm talking about. In the long run, it's going to be better for your natural lashes. And then also, although, like I said, technically you could lash this client with a very, very lightweight set, there is trauma to that eye. So for that reason, just leave it alone. Let that eye just rest up, and then come back in 12 weeks when a whole lash cycle has been done and it's safe to put very lightweight extensions back on. Now, I don't work on commission, and I don't actively endorse other people's products, because obviously that would be in direct competition with me. But there is an amazing lash calculator app out there. It's called the Volumetric Lash Calculator. Now, when we run our courses and we have our students that come in, we teach them how to use a volumetric lash calculator to find out how much volume our clients can wear, which is how I came up with those numbers on the previous pages. It's very mathematical. It took me ages to get my head around it. I'm not a mathematician. I'm more creative than academic. So it was hard for me, but Miranda Tarpe from the UK lash industry came out with an amazing app. I think it's about £10.99 British pounds, so probably about $15, and this does it all for you. So if you don't like to use the maths, or you haven't got like a visual chart there, this is great. Go and download it. If you've got a client coming in, you're not quite sure how much volume that they can wear, it just does it for you. So it's quick, easy. I'm always an advocate for promoting other technicians' products if I think they're going to assist us within the industry. And like I said, I don't earn nothing off this, but go and get this app, because it really is great for lash technicians that do volume. So who can wear mega volume? Now technically all of these clients in these photographs can wear mega volume, but it is much best suited to clients with a fuller lash line. Now, as per any set of lashes we do, whether it's classic or volume, your results are always going to vary depending on the natural lashes that that client presents us with. Because remember, we only work off a platform. If there's nothing there, we can't stick it to anything. We can't just float it into space and it'll be there. It's got to attach to something, and obviously we can't attach it to the eyelid, so we've got to attach it to a lash. So we need something there. So you're always going to get a better result on people that have got lots of natural lashes. So somebody like this one right in the bottom right hand corner, there's only so much volume you can achieve even with mega volume, because you're going to end up overloading and trashing it. So it's still important that with mega volume, you're always lashing safely. You're always using that appropriate thickness and dimension of your fan, and the lengths as well. And again, guys, this is why we take courses. It would be great if we could all learn off YouTube, but no good trainer is going to put all of her information out there for free and teach people for free, because just like you don't lash for free, do you? Because you got to earn your money. So we'll give, you'll find us taking the time out to help you, but ultimately we want you to come on those courses so that we can spend the time with you guys and educate you and show you how we come up with this, and and give our clients the best. So make sure that you are taking those courses and that you keep up to date if you're doing these treatments, just to make sure that you're not missing out on anything. Now, fan consistency is so very important, because I have a bit of a sort of a bugbear, I suppose it is, with a mega volume. I see so many mega volume fans, but to be honest, they look like a mess. It takes no skill to pick up a chunk of mega volume and it not be even. The skill is to still create that fan and get it to as perfect as possible, which is difficult when you're creating bigger fans, because they're always part of it's going to move and it's going to be out of precision. So you're never probably going to get that perfect one. But guys, you still got to work towards it. It's not just about picking up a chunk. Now, all of our fans must remain consistent. However, our fans for mega volume have got to be narrower throughout to create that density, because there are two different types of fan here, which we're going to discuss. You've got your deep V on the left hand side, which looks like the letter V from the alphabet, and then you've got your long bases, which look a little bit more like the letter Y, or I say like a palm tree that grows on the beach. So on the left, with the steeped V type of fan, you're always going to get sort of more fluff and coverage, so great for Russian volume. It's always going to suit your clients with sparse natural lashes, so again, much better for Russian volume. It will give you less uniformity, so it's going to give you a more sort of crossover effect going on, and it's a good fan to be used in 2 to 6D. Whereas, if you look at your long bases, you're going to get a much darker effect, so much better for mega volume. If your client's got a lot of natural lashes, which is what we want for mega volume, you're going to get a better result. You're going to get that uniformity of a strip lash effect, which is what people want when they want mega volume, and it's great to be used from anywhere in 2 to 16D, just making sure that you've got the right client on. But when it comes to mega volume, the long bases tends to be more what we're trying to see within our sets to get that density needed. Now, actually, when it comes to mega volume, I actually changed my technique from Russian volume. So I tend to be the type of person that this is how I create my fan when I'm doing Russian volume. I take a chunk off the strip, put it down, fan it manually, and then pick it up. And for me, as you can see with my last slide here, that works really well up to about 6D, okay? So that's what I use, although I can do a lot of other techniques because I'm a trainer. I need to know that. I need to be able to consistently teach those to students. But for me, I'm always going to have that favourite one that I like, and it is this one. Now, when it comes to mega volume, I use this technique, which I think is sometimes called the rainbow, but I decided to call it the unicorn because I quite like unicorns. We tend to make up names and play with our techniques just to have a little bit of fun. But actually what I do is I pull the lashes forward, and then using the tip of my tweezers, I then create the fan this way. It's a really difficult technique, guys, and it takes so much practice, and I'm still not perfect at it, to get that consistency, to get the lashes evenly fanned. If if you play with this technique or you know about it, you'll know how hard it can be. And also removal off the strip is really hard, because where the fans really fanned out, and there's a lot of them, your bases tend to cross. So in our classes, when we do get those cross bases, we do some really great little tricks with our students just to get those bases to come back nicely together, and it is a bit of practice. So again, you know, when you've got a mega volume course, you're going to be shown different techniques and you're going to be shown how to perfect them, because what you are using with your Russian volume technique might not be suitable for the mega volume technique as per shown here. So when it comes to mega volume, another thing that we're actually trying to create that we don't get with Russian volume is the perfect top line effect. It's what mega volume is about. Now I've got a couple of slides here from Nelly from Bordeaux. She's an amazing trainer. I've taken one of her courses because she is the queen of this effect. I wish I could get my lashes to look like this, and I just can't, but it is perfection. This is top end, guys. This is top end mega volume. You know, I think only there's a few out there that can create this. So if you never get to this standard, guys, and I never will, don't beat yourself up, but just use this as inspiration to work like that. And I think you have to have the right client. You know, for me, I don't see clients with a ton of natural lashes with lots of layers. So I'm never going to achieve this on the type of clients that I get coming in. And I understand that. But what they do here to create that lovely top line, and again, this is just a classic lash skill, guys, so it's nothing new to the industry, but you lash shorter as you go up through the layers. So when you have a zone that you're lashing in and you've lash map, your bottom layer will be what's pretty much written on your pad, and then your middle and your top layer will drop 1 millimeter shorter, so that as you move up through the layers, because as we know, or hopefully you guys know that have taken training, we tend to have 3 layers of lashes. So as you move up through them, you need to have 1 millimeter shorter so that the top or the tips of the lashes all come together. Now if they don't and you get that jagged look, some clients love that, but for mega volume we tend to want it to look like we've actually cut it with scissors. It's that unnatural, almost caterpillar look, and this is how we go about doing it, guys. And through this illustration that we've got here, you know, this might be a better visual representation to show you how we do it. So this is broken down as to the 3 layers. We've got lashes that sit on the top layer, lashes that sit on the middle, and lashes that sit on the bottom. On the bottom ones, okay, we're gonna, let's say we're in our 11 millimeter zone, we are gonna place our 11 millimeter, and I like to attach the extension to the top of the natural lash. If I'm in a middle layer, I attach it to the side, and I'd go 1 millimeter shorter using a 10 millimeter. And if I was attaching to a top layer lash, I would attach underneath that natural lash, and my length would be 1 millimeter than the middle layer, so that would take it to a 9. So you can see how it's all going to bring it very, very tight together and get that super sharp top line. Guys, if you are a beginner, don't worry about this. It's advanced stuff, and it will blow your brain a little bit like it did with me when I was new to the industry. But it's something that we progress to. When I'm judging at the competitions, this is what I'm looking for, and usually the technicians, they map it on the pad so you can see what they've done, but you can see it in the sharpness of that work. So guys, if you're not doing it, bear it in mind that this is how we get that top layer effect, or top line effect I should say. Now, tweezers, which one to use? There are a variety of basic tweezers out there which are going to be great for the Russian volume technique. They'll pick up 2 to 6D. You'll find that most do about 4D, and then they struggle a little bit because they're cheaper tweezers. They're not precision manufactured. It's a bit like having a car. If you want a super sporty, fast car, you've got to pay the money for it. Whereas if you just want a basic run around, you buy yourself something a bit cheaper. And it's the same with tweezers. So guys, lots of varieties out there. Whereas if you are doing mega volume, you have to make sure that you have got yourself a better tweezer. You need your sports car, okay? So you're going to need one that is precise, a very soft grip, so that you can grip them hard and they will always almost like mold around the fans inside the tweezer head. Good quality steel, that's what you need. If you've got poor quality steel, you'll never produce a good tweezer. Quality manufacturers, guys, you're going to pay a higher price. You're probably going to pay anything from about $60 to $100 for them. You are. They need to be balanced. When you hold them in your hand, you'll feel that they balance really, really nicely. And make sure they're hand tested. They need to have been hand tested by a technician that you know, okay? Because a lot of these manufacturers, they hand test them by grabbing an arm hair and pulling it off. And if they can pull an arm hair off, they say that's not good enough. They say that's good enough. They're not volume technicians. Of course, they're never going to know whether it's going to work or not. And that's the only way in which they can test them. So make sure you've got some sort of guarantee on them, because if they don't grab well, you're never going to be able to pick up big fans. So when it comes to mega volume, they don't really recommend infills, because although you technically can do it, and guys, if you choose to do infills within your salon, absolutely do it. But when they train it, okay, and there's a difference between what you do in your salon and what you do in training, really. What they recommend is that if you do an infill, you're never going to get that super sharp top line, because you get the outgrown lashes ruining that top line. So that's why they don't recommend it. If you've used a mirror link technique and you've lost one of your fans in that technique, you don't want to be using a new adhesive against an old adhesive. And guys, they'll go into the different attachment techniques in your courses. And also your outgrown fans, they may well cause the natural lash to droop where they're outgrown quite a lot. So again, this is why they kind of don't recommend that. The advantages to not infilling is that you're always going to get that perfect top line, which is what we like in that mega volume. Your sets are actually going to look fuller for longer. So actually what you're going to find is your clients don't need to come back at 3 weeks. They can last 5-6 weeks and they look full because there's so much more volume there. And if they then were to come back for an infill, there will actually be so much regrowth going on that you would have to do a full set. So that's why you really actually don't need to do infills on mega volume. And also for you guys, you're going to be earning more. So although we love doing lashes, we do it because we need to earn money, we need to live. We don't lash for free and we can't afford to. So you're going to be earning a lot more as your full set price is higher than infills and almost takes you less work. So really, when it comes to mega volume, by not infilling, it's going to be a lot better for your business. But guys, it's your business. No one can tell you how to run it. And if you think that you've got a market offering infills to mega volume sets, you go and absolutely do it. No one has any right to tell you what you can and can't do. So what are our advantages to mega volume? No infilling, new sets every time, which is lovely. You're going to earn more. Your sets are going to appear fuller for longer, so that makes our clients very, very happy. You get that nice strip lash effect. So for those clients that want that, it's the perfect technique for them. It's dark and dense in appearance, so again, it gives you the blackest look that you can get on your clients. It's great for your clients that want those very full lashes, and maybe you do Russian volume and you're lashing them to the maximum. It's still not good enough for them, and it's going to create that perfect top line, which I personally love. I'm not overly into the jaggedy Kim K sort of look, but some are. But if you like that super sharp top line, which I do, then it's perfect for that. So again, it's another technique for you to add to your, well, what you offer your clients, really. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you don't already follow me on the other social media, I'll just tell you where I am. I'm on Instagram at Frankie Widdows. I'm on Facebook, Frankie Widdows Eyelash Excellence. And obviously I'm on YouTube because you're watching this now, Frankie Widdows Eyelash Excellence. Guys, hope you enjoyed that one. If you do have any comments, put them in the box below. Obviously, I am busy, so I don't always check the comments on there. I get a lot of notifications during the day. So, you're better off to private message me or direct message me if you want to ask me a question. If you want to train in mega volume, we have an online course that you can look at. That's at eyelashexcellence.com. We offer certification on all of our online courses, and they are the same courses that we run in person. So we design them for those people that couldn't get to us in the UK, or if you couldn't get into one of my classes when I'm traveling, you know that you can still learn the same techniques online as you can when you come and visit us in person. Hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and look out for a load of new videos which are coming soon. Bye.